All right, the next phase that we're going to talk about is chapter 5 for us is our systemize your offense. And what I mean by systemize your offense is we're trying to make sure that you have simple movement in your teaching. There's a commonality in your communication. You can clearly explain how each play in your offense connects to the next. That's a great statement. And in terms of a play borrowed from an opponent or on the internet, college pro game, but they're all great. Guys come in with those all the time. Does it fit with the system? And that's what helps you as a coach decide if you want to keep it. So the play of the day that Coach Casey does, great deal, great resource. But if it's something that you don't normally do in your offense, it's probably not something that fits the system. And when we talk about systemizing the offense, it's as simple as, does play A work with play B? Does play B work with play C? Do your constraint plays truly mirror what the core looks like, the core play looks like? And do you have play action and screens that look like that? And herein lies, like that last comment, herein lies the common issue many offensive coordinators encounter is simply this. I see something that's cool, doesn't mean I should run it. It has to be part of the system. And if I can't make it fit the system, then I've got a problem. I can't operate within that package. And therefore, I want to make sure that I use that as my core principle, my value that helps me move forward. Great offenses don't run a collection of plays. They run interconnected systems. When you watch, if you were to watch Ohio State, they won the national championship. If you watch Indiana, University of Indiana, and their offense, they had RPOs and they had all kinds of constraint plays, but they didn't do anything that was out of this world fancy. They just did simple football that they did from day one, and then they had the answers built in. Defenses are going to prepare to stop your base stuff. When a defense prepares to stop your offense, I promise you, it's like this at almost every staff I've ever been on Friday. When I was a defensive coach, we're in there, we're looking at a formation, we're writing down every play you run out of that formation. And then we go to the next formation, every play you run out of that formation. And we're making sure that we have answers in our calls that fit the basic things that you do. We're trying to pull out what are your favorite answers, right? Well, from an offensive standpoint, you should be doing the same thing using the base of your book, right? I'm coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to take my base offensive look. I'm going to change it slightly. I'm going to add something to the constraint answers that I have, and I've got the different constraints I can go to, whether it's a number, leverage, or reaction constraint, but they're all built into the system, and that system works. Well-designed football, right? Well-designed football is one that has a seamless fit that moves from series to series and play to play. When you systemize communication, you want to make sure that you have stuff that's repeatable. So when I talk about that, when we talk about system, anytime I can create for our offensive line, we talk about our blocking schemes, the front side of push is also the front side of counter. It's also the front side of power, the initial movement. Now, all we have to do is kick this back one backer, and those terms become simple terms for our offensive line to use. Where we say push, we're pushing vertical, and we say we get in the gap scheme, you're going to push it back one backer. You're accounting for one backer away because we're bringing somebody play side to handle that block in the gap scheme. That would be a systemizing of the offensive line. Your concept-driven offense is the key, and those concepts that you're tying into it, whether it be an access throw, whether it be an option read, whether it be an RPO or a pass screen option or a pass first run option. Those are things that we want to make sure they fit into the system, right? And it's the offense is more important. I don't just buy an air raid playbook and then try to come in and operate that as my system unless I'm completely bought in to what they're trying to do. And again, if it doesn't fit your personnel, you don't have carryover from season to season. A playbook offense is a collection of plays that fit, and I'm just grabbing stuff and pulling out. systemized offense. I'm running plays that as I walk into the game, I've got an answer. And as I go into my play calling, I can sequence my calls or marry my calls because they look the same. And there's answers within it that the defense has to come up with some type of structure. We're going to distort the look for them. And we'll distort that either with the RPOs or with the next play in the system. So example, horns, I'm running horn, and then I go to inside zone, or I'm running horn sweep, and I'm running horn toss into the boundary, and next thing you know, I'm running split flow zone out of a bunch set. Those are things that are really great system plays that help you move forward. If you're talking about using a comparison of a systemized approach as opposed to just buying somebody's playbook, this is a great little graph for that. This is a teaching method. The top, we're concept driven, and where a playbook is play driven. I see a play that's cool, I'm going to run it, and I'm teaching that play, and it's brand new each day, each week for our kids. I don't get the rep base I'm wanting. The player learning, if we have rules-based decision making going on, that's a system. If they're memorizing an assignment based on just that play, then there's not a lot of repetition. Adaptability is really high in a system-based offense. And again, if you're adapting in a playbook, you got to have another play that tags in that might have a complete separate look, doesn't have any carryover from the previous look you get when you're not getting that stack, like a pyramid type approach to your football. Install process is layered and scalable. When you systemize, it's linear because you're trying to throw different thoughts and plays and playback. It's again, I like this. It's bubble screen. I really like that. Then I want to come back and line up in a heavy set and do something completely different that doesn't really fit the rest of the offense. Again, if I can layer it, it's better. When you start talking about your install, your game day adjustments are fast if it's systemized, slower if it's not. Autonomy for the players. Anytime I think you add RPOs and constraints into your offense and you put it into a system, your players take control. It's almost like they get to call the play on the field and they move forward. Again, if you have a system, especially with kids that have played football, been in your system, like our offensive linemen have been going since 8th grade with the same schemes, some of it even longer with the Optimus programs. Whereas if you're a youth program and you're going out and you're getting ready to play the team from across town in a Pop Warner game, and you can put a play in because those kids don't have a whole lot of football acumen, then you have the ability to playbook approach might be successful. And it's something that I think gets overlooked as coaches grow in the game. Come up with your system and be able to teach it. System gives you adaptability. Playbook gives you kind of a concrete barrier to what you want to do. So I'm going to use a hybrid wing T approach for this. You can systemize any offensive system. I want to make sure you understand that. And again, it goes back to those two questions. What system do I like as opposed to what best fits us? Make sure it fits your personnel and then systemize your approach on the install.